Hello, hello, hello. I know that it is not Monday. I know that it is Tuesday. Um, and you know, w- I could not do what the quote yesterday. I had a lot of stuff going on. So I still wanted to honor my commitment. So this week, What the Quote podcast is going to be going live on Tuesday. So I'm going to do it a little bit different this week. Next week, I'll be back on Monday at 7 with Ann Baston, and she will be discussing her quote. But I just wanted to, I'll be putting on my coach's hat in just a second because I wanted to spend some time coaching about this one, this one thing. So right now, what we're going to do is, I got some theme music. So we're going to listen to some theme music for What the Quote.
At What the Quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.
You know, I just love that song so much. So I was talking to somebody today and she was like, I was singing, What the Quote, your theme song. So I'm like, okay, maybe I might, do a whole song. I don't know. But I asked, so this episode is going to be a little different um, because yesterday was just a really, really busy day. And so I asked a friend of mine if she could ask a coach a question. What question would she ask? And she said that she would like to know how to let go. And I thought, great question. So to be honest, I spent some time searching for a quote about letting go, and I just could not find one that fit this occasion. So for this one occasion, we're not going to have a quote because I really wanted to spend some time. I didn't want to manufacture something to fit, because words are really important to me. So I really wanted to use a quote that fit the occasion, and I could not find one. So, as we were talking a little bit about letting go, I realized that there are times in each of our lives where we are dealing with letting go, how to let go, if we should let go, when should we let go, and how to do that with ease and grace. And it could be letting go. I think for most people, it's about letting go of a relationship. It could be through choice, it could be through death, it could be, just because they was getting on your nerves. That could be the reason to let go. It could be one person is moving out of the city or country. It could be that you're moving from one job to another, and those relationships that you've cultivated while at work, those are going to be changing. And so letting go, I believe, happens quite often and in many different ways. And I know that for a lot of people, it is around letting go of relationships with a significant other. So I'm going to spend some time talking about that because I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of time mourning the relationship or wishing that it could be different than what it was. And while mourning a relationship does have, I guess it could have its ups, I am conscious not to spend a lot of time there. And I say that because I believe that when you're in a relationship with someone, that is what you needed to be doing at that time, because those are the choices that you made to get you there. And so um, I know that when you're in a relationship and it doesn't feel um, good, you don't feel like you maybe are being heard, or that it is maybe it's toxic, you might feel. Um, it's really easy to blame the other person because you're looking at the faults of the other person. And I'm saying that because when you're in that state, it doesn't create an environment for you to let go, because you're still holding on to those thoughts and feelings about the other person, and the things that the other person did, and the things that the other person said. And so that is not, while there may be some value in that, I think there are times where we get stuck in that place. And it becomes very difficult to shift out of that place because we're constantly thinking about it and talking about it. And so when you think about letting go, if you're still thinking about it or talking about it, you really haven't let it go. Because if you had let it go, you would be thinking and talking about other things. And so that is one thing to keep in mind, is if you're still talking about it or them or the situation, then that means that you really haven't let it go. So one example that comes to mind is say in a breakup, and when someone asks what happened, you go into this whole everything that happened, this, that, and the other, instead of, you know what, I wish them well. I have moved on, and, you know, may they be kind. So if your conversation is relating to everything that they've done, how they made you feel, how jacked up they were, this, that, whatever, blah, blah, then you're not moving toward the direction of letting go. And I kind of, so I'm going to say a little bit about this. The other part of letting go is it's about releasing. And then it's also about being open to something new. So I think sometimes in relationships, when they end, it is a perfect opportunity for us to get refocused, to get some clarity with ourselves. And so it's a great time to think about what would you like to be and experience and accomplish this point forward. Because if you're not in that relationship anymore, don't be in that relationship anymore. And by that I mean, thinking about it and talking about it. It would be best if you opened yourself up to what you would like to experience. And I kind of think of, there's this this like balancing act of, you're letting go of your past relationship, and you're also embracing the new you without the relationship. And you really want to be mindful that when things end, no matter what it is, if it's a relationship, a job, it's a great opportunity to create something else. But you have to be open to that, to looking at a situation maybe differently than you have in the past, which at times may not feel very good. But, you know, I always talk about practicing. And so while you are developing this new way of being, maybe by yourself, maybe it's a new way of being in a new job. It could be a new way of being, I don't know, maybe you got a new pet, but it's about embracing that and realizing, okay, this is a new experience. And it could be just as fun and exciting as the last job that I left. It doesn't have to be um, a situation where you got this ball and chain around your ankle and you're being pulled. So, um, just talking a little bit about letting go, it can be a beautiful experience, even as it relates to the seasons. You know, I'm in Indiana. There are times where it does not feel like we have four seasons. It feels like sometimes we have two. We go from 30 below to 103. But one of the beautiful things about the seasons changing is that you get to have a new experience. So some people like winter and the cold and the snow. I am not one of those people. And some people like the fall with the flowers and the different colors, and um, you know what I'm saying? And so really all of those are just new seasons. They're different seasons and they all have value, just like um, a job or relationship or whatever it is. Um, it has its own value. And if it ends, then it's a perfect opportunity to create something new. So I will tell you, um, this story is so funny to me because my stepdad, everybody called him Butch or Handsome Harv. He was handsome, and loved my mother immensely and unconditionally, and me and my sister. I mean, he was just such a great um, addition to our family. And I realized that he taught me a lot of things, but one of the things that he taught me was live your life, because tomorrow's not promised. And um, I mean, I just saw him really um, encourage people, change people's lives. I mean, he always was so positive and fun and loved to eat and just a whole host of things. And when he passed, I was really sad, of course, cried, disappointed. But I also took that time to make sure that I was going to honor him and that I was going to live and I was going to be um, an example that he was, that um, that you could be on this earth and things happen and you could still be kind and you could still grow and just be a lot of the things that you wanted to be. And so while I was at a tremendous loss of losing him, I also thought I was at this great opportunity to live. And for me, that is what letting go is. It's about releasing and also experiencing something new. And it doesn't have to be hard or difficult. It can be sometimes. I realize that it can be. But I think that letting go is something that we can experience in a way that doesn't feel as rough and as difficult, maybe, as it has been in the past. There are quotes about your perspective, like Are you expecting bad things happen, or are you expecting that good things are going to happen? My one of the sayings that I always say about myself is that things always work out for me. And that's true. Even when it doesn't look like things are working out for me, things are always working out for me. And if I can keep that in my mind, that I know that when it gets tough, I'm still walking in the direction of ease. And so, let me see. Let me put my hat on. Put my coaching hat on. Put my coaching hat on over this hair and my headphones. So let's talk about some things that you can do if there is something that you need to let go of, or maybe that you might need to let go of in the future, because it's, talking is great, but you got to put some things into practice. And so if there are things or something, I'm going to say a relationship, because I think maybe that's something that a lot of us deal with at one time or another. If there is a relationship that you feel like you need to let go of, here's what you do. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Here's what you do. Write down. I'm going to say all the reasons, but I'll say at least 10 reasons. Write down at least 10 reasons why this relationship was extremely good and happy and filled with laughter, joy, or whatever it was. Like, what are the great things about that relationship or that job? What were some great things about that job? Because I believe that if you can focus on the good things, that sometimes we say it takes the heat off. It takes the heat off of that situation. So if it is a job that you are at that you don't like or you're not fulfilled, what are some great things about that job that you love? What are some great things about, I don't know what his name is or her name is, whatever their name is, Kim or Bobby Joe. I don't know. What are some great things about them? Because that feels different in your body than you talking about all of the horrible things, because that's the process of releasing. So you're taking the heat off of that experience or that job so that you can kind of put it to rest. And so if there is a person or a situation that you need to let go of, write down some of the things that you loved about it or that you're grateful for. So if it's a person, they made me laugh. They cooked great food. I, always felt safe with them, or whatever the case is. If it's a job, it paid my bills, it had great health insurance. The supervisor was crazy, but we're not talking about the crazy supervisor. We're talking about the great things. So just kind of write those down. And so if you can feel differently about the situation, that helps to put you at ease so that it's not so negative, and that you can remember what the good times were. Because there was a time where you liked the job or the person. And so if it's over, then let's just remember the good times instead of the bad times. And that will start you on your process of letting go. And so, even as it relates to grief, if you're grieving, um, there comes a point where I believe there's a great value in remembering the good times because, and of course, you'll always miss them. I still miss Butch. I still think about him all the time, but he loved to eat. And he was always such an inspiration and a joy, loved to travel the world. And so, that's what I remember. That's what I remember. I remember the good times. And that takes the sting out of him not being with me anymore. So um, that's it for this week's episode of What the Quote. Now, I know I didn't have a quote, but I really just wanted to spend some time in the coaching corner talking about letting go and maybe a different process that might serve you in that. So let me know. Let me know if this was of value. And I don't know, maybe, I'll start taking a question here or there about how to be kinder. You see, we're being kind. Letting go is being kind to you and to other humans. You see how that works? See how I'm bringing it all together. So until next week, where we will talk with Ann Baston about her quote, be kind. And hey, I wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? Here it goes.
And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.
See you next week.